Hey everyone, this is Gogogo, and today I wanted to bring you a little introduction to the new Onomat cards that will be coming out about 1 week from the recording of this video. This is a combo video for the Ryzeal variant, but you can also play it pure or just use it as a rank 4 engine for any deck. It's very efficient at making rank 4s, and something like Dodododo Warrior doesn't even use your normal summon to do that. So I'll just talk over the important cards. I'm not going to do a full deck profile here because all of this is very likely to change in the future anyway as more people play the deck. And I will show you some combos. The combos all are with Droll and Lockbird in mind. So at some points you will get fewer extenders that you would in a full power combo, but I think the trade-off is worth it in our format. The OCG didn't have Droll as popular as we do right now. And generally it's always easy to make combos stronger, but it's always hard to make combos better into trips. So I'm just going to show you the baseline today. But let's talk about the new cards first. Obviously they are not out yet, so these are proxies. We have Dodododo Warrior, Zubababa Knight, Gagaga Ganbara Knight, and Gogogo Goblindbergh, and we have the Gagaga Girl in the extra deck. So let's just go over these real quick. Dodododo Warrior is the star of the deck, that's why it's an ultra rare. This card, you can activate it in hand and send a Dododo Warrior, Dododo card from your deck to the graveyard as cost, which is very important. Then you special summon it and make its level 4. Then if this gets detached to activate an effect of an Xyz monster, you can search a Zubaba monster from your deck. The last part is something all of these 4 monsters have in common. If they get detached, you can search the next one in line. That would be Zubababa Knight. This on normal or special summon can activate one of these effects. You add one Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand, except itself, and then you change its level to the level of that monster. So this is a bit annoying because this is level 3. So if this gets impermed, it is not a level 4 body on the field, so even if you have an extender you can't work with that. Bit annoying, so that's usually this is going to end up being a one-off. And the other effect is you can destroy one level 4 or lower defense position monster your opponent controls. Not that relevant generally. And the add effect when this is detached is it can add a Gagaga monster. That would be Gagaga Ganbara Knight, or something like the old cards, which is the code, for example. But for the new cards, it would be Ganbara Knight, and this one is an extender, a really good extender. You reveal a Gagaga monster from your extra deck and special summon it, and then you can activate one of these effects. And that is, you either special another Gagaga from your hand, or you can change the battle position of one monster on the field. Note that all of this is one effect, so this special summons and then immediately does the other thing, which means that this card can actually out-Baguska because you special summon it from the hand and then you switch the Baguska into attack position, and that is really nice. Just a free out for Baguska as an extender. If you play the search spell for the deck, you can even just without a monster effect get to this. And this on detach will add you a Gogogo monster, which is the other monster in the line. And this is the other really good starter of this new support, Gogogo Goblindbergh. On normal summon, you can special a non-warrior Gogogo monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, so it cannot special summon itself. Generally, your target will be the Dododo Dwarf Gogogo Glove, and when this is detached, it can add a Dododo Warrior monster. So that is the whole circle of things here. And then we have the Gagaga Girl, and just generic rank 4, but it's not really generic because it needs a Zubaba, Gagaga, or Gogogo or Dododo monster as material to activate its effect, which is detach one material to search a Xyz, Onomat, or Gagaga card. So there is a new counter trap, which I won't show in this video, but that's a card that's also in the new set that you could search with it, or you can just search a Gagaga, which would be the Ganbara Knight or the coat, or you can search your Onomatopera, which just searches you the whole engine. So that is the new support, and obviously it pairs really well with Ryzeal. You can see I have the F0 package here. This is not standard. I liked it in my combos, but if you don't want to use the extra deck space, feel free to take them out. You'd have to adjust the combos a bit. This is usually in my combos the nip protection. Then you just have to go for Star Ryzeal or Duo Drive to get to cross earlier. But generally you are very flexible with this deck. So I'm going to show you some combos that I like to use. And then after that, we'll talk about how good I think this deck is and how it pairs up to the meta decks. Alright, so let's start with the Dodododo Warrior line. There's a lot of variations in these lines because you're so flexible with your extenders and that all, but I'm gonna go through the line that I figured out and just tell you where you can do different things here. So with just Dodododo Warrior, you activate the effect to send the glove and special summon it out, becoming a level 4, and then the glove can special summon itself. Now here you already have a lot of branching points. You can just do Duo Drive, you can make Gogogo Girl, the new secret rare, and go into your Onomat line a bit more. But the line I opted for here is to go into Banshee because I want to play around Droll, because I expect Droll to still be very popular in DUAD format. So because of that, we go Banshee effect and detach the Warrior. It's important to grab Ice. Now you can grab X tier, which can also make the line much stronger, but Ice is better against Droll because once you did this, the Dodododo Warrior will trigger to get you a search, and your opponent has a window to Droll you, which would deny the search, and then you would be left with an X in hand. So that would just lose to a Droll. Obviously you can shift the lines up depending on what extenders you have in hand, but if you only have this and 4 hand traps, you just go for the safe route. Now if they imperm the Banshee and you don't get the Ice, you will still get the Dodododo Warrior, and what you add is the Zubaba Knight. This can search the other Zubaba card on summon, becoming a level 4, and then even though you would get impermed on that, you could normal summon this, get the extender, and just make Duo Drive from there. But from here on out, in the normal line, we would normal summon Ice and special X'd. This is important because later on we can't use the surge effect of X'd, so we want to do it now, and we grab Sword. This is summon number 5. So from here on out they can nib you, but you will have the Sword in hand to special summon it and just play on from there. Now, what you can do here, again, branching paths, you can make Duo Drive right away, but what I like to do is Gallant Granite. Now, the best spot to nib would be here, because if they let you get into Gallant Granite, you'll have it in the grave, so even though they deny you getting the nib, later on with X that you can search, you can send twins, get the Granite back from the grave, and still get your nib. So you will activate the effect of Granite and grab your nib. Now the next thing you can do is, one thing that I like to do is just go into F0. So if you want to use the extra deck space for this package, I think it's pretty nice to have just another way of protecting your cards from hand traps, and it's just a decent boss monster. Then you can continue special summoning the Sword Ryzeal, grabbing you the Star Ryzeal in this case. So you can special it by detaching whatever you want here. Just take the Granite, and then this will set you the cross that you can activate, and from here on out you can overlay these two finally for your Duo Drive, which can also attach from the grave, and then you can use the effect, and now you have 2 negations for the Duo Drive effect. So you'll detach 2, and you'll grab Node and the X. Now from here on out you can go and summon the X, sending your twins, and this doesn't get a search because you already used it, and then you can go and you can even go, no, you can't even special summon twins here. What am I talking about? You can special the node, use the node effect, send the Duo Drive, special this, And then you just go into your detonator, which will attach the Eclipse Twins. So format detonator, and then you can also go ahead and shuffle back 2 of your Ryzeals with your cross to get an additional draw. Now, this is obviously less than a Dodododo Warrior combo that you will see online can do, but still we have a lot of things going on here. So we have the negate here, we have the negate here, we have detonator props, and we have twins. And more importantly, we have Nibiru. So let's say all of our materials here are gone and we use the effect. You can actually go and nib once they chew through all of this. And the twins will trigger. And you actually have a choice of resummoning the detonator for more pops or the F0, because the F0 effect is not once per turn. So you would have another negate and you have this monster, which is not easy to out. But I like getting the detonator back just because this would attach the twins again, and then you just have more pressure. But this would be what you would end on just with 1 card, and pretty resilient into Droll, into Nib, and into Imperm. So safest line here, and you have follow-up with his Bubble Knight. Another new 1-card starter that we got is the Gogogo Goblindbergh. This is a normal summon. It's kind of like Ice Ryzeal, but it can also do a pretty strong combo. So let's just start off by normal summoning this, which will summon out the glove from the deck. And here you will overlay into Gogogo Girl. Then you use the effect, detach the Goblindbergh, and again, branching paths. If you want to play around Droll, you will add the code. So if they Droll you here, you can still special the code, summon back the Goblindbergh, and either make Baguska here, or go into any rank 4 that you want and make F0 here. Depending on how many hand traps you have and how much follow-up you have, that's your choices. If you don't have much follow-up, I would keep the Gogogo Girl with a Baguska, hoping that it survives, and then next turn you can try and detach to get follow-up if you survive with the Baguska. But let's just say it resolves, so we get the Dodododo Warrior, and that's going to be our insurance against Nib. So we can use the code to special summon itself because we have a Gogogo monster on the field, and then the code can bring back the Goblindbergh. Now you can overlay these two for Banshee. Again, this is similar to the last combo. You have 5 summons here, they can nib you, but then you can just summon the Dodo Warrior, bring back the glove, which we didn't do yet, and then you just make DUAD. So, but here we'll overlay Banshee, and Banshee is going to detach to grab you Star Ryzeal here. So then again, we're going to use our 2 XZs, these fall off, to make F0 for our hand trap protection. Next up, you can special summon the Star by detaching one of the materials here. 2 is enough, and then Star will set you the cross from the deck. And next up, you can summon the Dodododo Warrior, milling another Dodododo Warrior. And before you overlay with these, bring back the glove, because otherwise you won't get it back. And from here on, you can go and make your DUAD. So DUAD effect, and you can detach. If they hand trap here, you can cross negate, detach here, and then detach another material from the F0. Otherwise, just take the material from the DUAD because that thing won't stay on the board. So detach, get these 2. Then you can summon the Sword Ryzeal, and that grabs you the Ext, and use Ext. Here you have a decision. You can either just send a detonator if your opponent is on Bestials or something and you already used your negate here. That's a bit risky if that gets banished, but otherwise this is just the prime target because it costs you no resources, because you just rise across it back. But if you don't want to do that, just send the aggregator or something. So in this case, I'm just going to put the detonator here, especially on this. Won't get the surge because this is rank 1. But what we can do here is we can overlay these 3 for our favorite rank 4 XYZ since the Dweller ban, and that is Ouroboros. Use Ouroboros effect, detach the Dodododo Warrior and rip a card from your opponent's hand. Dodododo Warrior will trigger, grab you Zubababa Knight for the follow-up, and then you can go special summon the node and make your twins here. Send the twins to bring back Sword Ryzeal. It's the best target against Bestials. And then the Clips twins will trigger, bringing back your Ouroboros with one of your monstrous material. And then we'll just go ahead and take another card out of their hand. And next up, we'll overlay these two. Oh, actually we have to Ryzeal cross first to get the dual drive back into the deck. So draw a card, and then you can make the detonator that you just put back. And that's gonna attach the Eclipse twins. Now, if you didn't put detonator in the grave with X, you still have another target here and here. So you will always get the Ryzeal cross draw. So we end on, here is the Zubababa Knight in hand. We drew a card. We have the 3 material detonator with Eclipse twins attached to it. We ripped 2 cards out of their hand, and we have the Draco Future here. And all of that while playing decently well into Nibiru and Droll and Lockbird. In my combos I talked a lot about Droll and Lockbird, and for a good reason, because that card can be devastating against a lot of your hands. So I would definitely play something like Called by the Grave in the main, and in the side deck maybe like cross out Salesman and so on. But you have an engine ways to play against Droll. I showed you in the 1-card combos what you would do if you get Droll, but in the 2-card combos it actually gets very interesting. So let's say we have Ice Ryzeal and we have any Onomat starter that doesn't use our normal summon, so Dodo Warrior or the Onomatopoeia. In this case I'm going to go with Dodododo Warrior, keep the Para here as extra card in hand. And what you want to do is you want to normal summon Ice Ryzeal and use the effect. Now, if they imperm this, you have an extender in hand, you'll get an extender in the grave, you have 3 bodies, you're good to go to do anything. But if they don't, you're gonna special summon Star Ryzeal, and Star Ryzeal will get you access to Ryzeal Cross, which will then activate, and then you just overlay these two for a dual drive and let the dual drive sit there for a bit, because now you just have protection against Droll and other hand traps as well. And dual drive can activate its effect later. So what you do now is you're going to go Dodododo Warrior, send the glove, which brings itself back, and then you're going to overlay these two for Gogogo Girl. Again, we don't fear Droll in this case, so we can go with the greedy line. So Girl detaches the Dodododo Warrior to grab Onomatopoeia. If you start with Onomatopoeia, what you do is you just add one of the targets that I would add later in this combo, and in the initial Onomatopoeia you just add a Dodododo Warrior with that. But here you would activate Dodododo Warrior's effect. Now if they hand trap this for some reason, Ash, Skullmeister, you don't even have to negate because you have the para, you can just play, so that's free here. But if they don't, you just grab the Subababancho Gaga code. Now it's time for the dual drive to activate its effect, because we want the glove in the grave. So detach 2 and grab your Ryzeals. Now we're loading up an extenders here, and we can continue on by special summoning Subababancho. Notice we still have the material here, so we still have a negate. So code, bring back the glove, and then just overlay these two for an Xyz of your choice. In this case I'm just going to go with Granite. Detach any of those materials, doesn't matter, and grab yourself your Nibiru. Then, before you go into Ryzeal stuff, you want to go and make your F0, because all the Ryzeals would prevent you from making the rank 1 play. Next up, you can use your para and the discard to grab your other extenders, so Zubababa Knight and Ganbara Knight. In this particular combo, it's the minimum, so we don't have another target for the Zubababa Knight here. If you have something like the Utopic Onomatopoeia, you can special summon these two, and then this grabs the Pia, and then you have 2 level 4s again. But what I want to do here is I want to special summon the sword, grab the Ice Ryzeal, and then you're gonna go Gunbaronite. You reveal your other Gogogo turret. In this case, I have the Magician. It can be Cowboy as well, just any target that you want. Special summon it. And then you go Ice and send whatever the target is to the graveyard, because we don't need it anymore. We use the Gunbara. If you have ways to recycle your Gunbara in your list, then just send something else, as long as you keep the twins in your extra deck. Then we're gonna make our Ouroboros, and that is gonna detach the Gunbaronite, which is important, to rip a card from your opponent's hand, and the Gunbaronite triggers, grabbing you follow-up. Then you can go and make your twins here. So these all fall off. We already have the negate here, so you don't need the dual drive on the field. And you're gonna special summon the Node Ryzeal, and you know the drill. You send your twins, you bring back Sword, twins triggers, bringing back the Ouroboros, attaching any material, and you're just gonna rip another card from your opponent's hand, and then you overlay these two for Detonator, which attaches the twins, and then you can go ahead and shuffle back 2 of your Ryzeal names in the grave, probably the dual drive and the Ext, to draw 1 additional card. So we ended up with 2 hand trips. Again, our Detonator with twins. We have the Utopic Draco Future with all of its material. We have Ryzeal Cross. We have a Nib in hand. So again, we can nibber a board, and then twins brings back a boss monster. And we can also, in the next turn, go Goblindbergh, bring back the glove from the grave, and play on from there. Now, if you didn't send the Gogogo Magician, one thing that's interesting with the Goblindbergh follow-up is you can actually go for the follow-up. Let's say the Detonator is outed, I don't know, they just outed the board, they're just that good. You can actually go and special summon back your glove from the grave, and then you overlay these two for the Magician, detaching to revive a monster, and because you made the twins properly, you can bring the twins back, and if you have a target for the Goblindbergh, you can grab that as well. So that would be the other Dodododo Warrior, and you can overlay these two for the new Utopic Futures Exile, and this card gains an effect because of the Gogogo Magician, because if this is under a Utopic Future monster, what that monster gains the effect to detach 2 and target an Xyz on the field, in this case itself. That monster's attack becomes 4000, but its effects are negated. And you just want to do that to detach, because that would trigger your twins, and that twins will bring you back either the Utopic or the Detonator. I always want to go for the Detonator, so we'll just get that back with material, and on summon it will attach the twins. So for your follow-up, that is going to be 4000 damage here, 3000 here, and you have your Detonator set up again. Okay, so we're back with the deck, and I think it's really good. It's basically pure Ryzeal, kind of, with an extra engine. The engine, sadly, is weakened to Droll, so you can't get into your Ryzeal engine without playing into Droll unless you do the Dododo line that I showed you. So that's a disadvantage, but the same could be said about the Tachyon engine, which would be played instead of that before. And 7th Tachyon also minuses you, where this can also increase your ceiling. So with that out of the way, to evaluate this deck, really you have to compare it to 3 different things. First off, obviously Mitsurugi, the top dog of the format. Then we have to talk about Lunalight, and we have to talk about Heraldic. So let's start with Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi Ryzeal, in my opinion, still the stronger deck. The matchup is a bit tough because they have pushes into your board unless you do the full combo, but there's hand traps and Fuas and all of that. So I think the direction this deck sadly has to go is to play the Nemesis package, unless it gets banned. But when we get a ban list, then Mitsu probably also will take a hit in some shape or form. But the Nemesis engine is just good because you generally don't kill the Mitsurugi player, but if you don't and they have the follow-up, you generally don't survive that. So summoning a Protoss just means that you deny their follow-up, and then on that following turn you can do your pushback. So for that matchup, I think you actually maybe even main deck this. Now if you main deck this, you obviously have to use Banshee to access this engine, which means that the combos that I showed you before, you will have to do differently, which plays more into Droll. So keep that in mind. But I think for the Mitsu matchup, that's the way to go. Now, the next one I mentioned was Lunalight, which is the other high potential deck out of the new set that I'm thinking. And I think overall, just in a vacuum, this is the better deck than Lunalight because it's more versatile. It can handle different situations better. But because I talked of the Mitsu matchup, and generally that Mitsu Ryzeal is the better Ryzeal deck, Lunalight has its own niche, and I think for what Lunalight does, it does that niche better than this deck would. So in that case, I would probably, if I was competitive, would probably play Lunalight over this. And then the last one is Heraldic. Now Heraldic was the other supplemental engine that you could play with Ryzeal. You did that before. You also did similar things in your end board. You Protoss them, you Ouroboros them, and all those things. So they're very close. And before I started testing this deck, I thought this was just a straight up upgrade to Heraldic. But as I played this more and I thought about Heraldic, they're actually a bit closer on power level. I still think this is the better deck, but the advantage Heraldic has is that the ceiling is just much higher, because if you get X'd off, you get to do so many things. Now Heraldic has to play a lot more bricks than this deck, so the floor is also a lot lower than this one, but all in all, I think this is the better deck, but it's not a straight up upgrade as I thought initially. So that's my evaluation for the deck. Now if you like the combos, if you would do something differently, if you want to leave a replay, you can go to my Discord. I'll leave the link down below and just talk to me about the deck. And if you have some combos that still don't play into Droll, but are better than the ones I showed, I would love to see them. Otherwise, it would be really nice if you left a like, a sub, comment, anything, and see you next video.